Welcome to Everything House Music and More, and my special guest today is the one and only Hugo H. Hugo, what's going on, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm good. I'm good.
How you been, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You know, we traveling and
I know you
stuff,
have.
you
It's
know?
it's been a long time, man, and it's a pleasure to have you, man. It took a while, but we here, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
You
it.
ready?
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna get into it, brother.
In the hot seat.
So Hugo, you are known in the scene for being a record guy.
Right.
Where did your love for records start with, and what music?
Well, I have the stories that my family tell me. You know, so sometimes to me, those are the stories that, you know, tend to be true, because if they're really real, you're really too young to remember this stuff. So I was too young to remember any of these stories. So, you know, back in the day, everybody had those big long wooden record players. Like ours had a reel-to-reel in it.
Oh yeah, like opened up.
It opened up.
Oh yeah.
And I was a baby, but I would stand up and lift the top up and look at the record spinning.
Wow.
This is what my family tells me.
Yeah.
Somehow that was just a thing with me. And as I grew older, my grandmother or my auntie would say, "Go play my song." And I would go pick up the record because I had watched it play on the turntable. Right. So I knew what record to go get. So
now, what year was this?
Oh, wow. This is when I was a kid. I might have been 3 or 4 years old. Okay. Something like that. So
we don't know how old you are, Hugo. That's what I'm saying.
Mine is, you know, I didn't just fall into it.
You just skipped over that. You know that, right?
Yeah, that is a legit thing. I was a little kid then, maybe 3 or 4 years old.
Okay. So let me ask you this: what year were you introduced to the house culture, and how?
It wasn't an introduction because we was a part of it. So I wasn't introduced to it because we watched all this form. Right. So it wasn't I was introduced to it. It was something that happened while we were still in the midst of doing what we were doing.
So you was spinning before all the Hot Mix 5.
Yeah, I was already playing then.
Okay.
I was already the club thing, the radio thing, the XFM thing, all this stuff. I had already done all that stuff.
Okay, so what year would you say you started DJing?
78, 79.
Okay, 78, 79.
Yeah.
Now, who taught you to DJ, and who was your first influences?
Now, crazy thing, nobody taught me. The love for the music and everything came. I could edit because back then I was more intrigued with switching music around and making it do something different than what was pressed on this record. So my father had a Philco, let you know how old that is, a Philco cassette deck with a pause button on it. So I used to just play with it. Really at that point didn't know what I was doing, but I realized, okay, I could stop this here and then play this part and just do this. So it started going like that, so I could edit before I could actually mix,
DJ, right.
Before I could DJ.
Okay.
So the DJing aspect came listening to Disco DAI. Okay. With Lou DeVito and all the rest of them cats over there. And it became a thing with the record. I was already buying records. I was buying records in grammar school.
So did you have the DJ set up already? Two turntables? And
I didn't even have that yet. Okay. I was buying records, but I was a record collector, if you want to call it that back then. I was buying records in grammar school. My mother would leave me and my sister like $5 to $10 a day. Yeah, I know y'all might think that's a lot of money, whatever, but that's what it was. And I would save all my money and buy records. I wouldn't eat lunch. I wouldn't eat lunch at school. Wow. I would take my money and go buy records. Right. So back then, this is when the cameos, and we talking about the first album, The Ugly Ego, and all the rest of this stuff. So way back then, the Parliaments and Parliament albums, Funkadelic stuff, all the rest of that stuff. So I was buying all that stuff then. Okay. So it was nothing supersedes my love for the music and the records. Right. So the DJing thing that happened. But listening to them guys on Disco DAI and everything, it became a thing where I had to have everything they played.
Okay.
So now the thing was, I didn't know the name of the records. So
who were some of the DJs you was listening to on DAI?
Lou.
Okay.
Peter, Kenny.
Kenny Jason, right?
Kenny Jason was on DAI back then.
Right.
And then as I got older, believe for the people that don't know, believe it or not, Terrible Ted.
Terrible Ted from the West Side.
Ted is one of the best disco DJs I ever heard. Okay. Period.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And just watching him when I could, because not this like fast forwards.
Right.
The Sheba Disco.
Ooh, that's the throwback.
So, they used to have a thing called a teenage dance party.
Okay.
And Ted used to do it sometime. And I would watch Ted mix. And the transitions were so it didn't make no sense to me. So we used to play a game, and I don't even know if Ted remember this. We used to play a game. I would stand outside the booth, and he would take Prince, I Want to Be Your Lover.
Uh-huh.
Now, at first I was wondering, because I wasn't in the pool then, I'm like, why they got this shit on 12-inch? I just got the albums. And I couldn't figure out where they was getting these. Right. It would be a different mix and different this and that. So then that's how I got introduced to the record pools at such a young age. I was, one of the youngest cats in the record pools.
Now, what year was this and what age were you?
This was in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, this is way back in the early 80s with the record pools. And Ted would take the beginning of I Want to Be Your Lover and keep the beginning going.
Right.
But he would be so smooth. He was on the Club La Meteor. He would be so smooth with it, and then he would do this. And I would have to point to which table was playing.
Oh, wow.
And I would point to it.
Right.
And he'll lift the needle up.
Oh,
it
wow.
Be that table playing. This is how Ted was.
Yeah.
So in my head, it was like, wow. And now that's where it was like, I got to get this. So then now that's where the equipment came in.
Okay.
So got the turntables and everything.
So did you get 1200s at the first rip?
Oh, hell no.
Right.
I got D2s, the SL D2s,
yes, sir.
That I still have, from Playback, the electronic playground that was located at Evergreen Plaza downstairs.
You're a straight gearhead, man.
Yeah. Ooh. So that's when I got that and the mixer and all the rest of that stuff. Because I already had records.
Right.
So then that's when it came to and I already understood the concept.
Right.
From mixing it and from watching them, them guys do it. And the influences wise, Ted. To go back to that question, was
Terrible Ted.
Mine will always be some names that people be like, who the hell is that?
Right.
Terrible Ted, Ron St. John, Spider Los, Lou DeVito, and all of them cats. The first names that I just named, these are the cats that I actually saw doing it. Okay. So, and people be like, well, what about the other, like the names that everybody mentioned? Again, I was already playing. Right. So everybody else came later. Right. That these people wasn't,
Hey, brother, that's no problem.
And then after that, after those cats, blended in with those cats was, what's his name? From, oh God, I can't think of his name.
All right, let's go to this one. Hold that thought. Tell us about your first paid DJ gig and what record stood out to you.
First paid DJ gig was this house party. It was a house party, and the record that stood out was "Freedom" by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Oh wow! Okay.
That was because that record, that was the save record. You played every record and you saved that one, and you could play it 9-10 times that night. Didn't make a difference.
That was the one that you just pulled out.
That was the record. But that record was a burner.
Okay.
That was a burner.
Speaking of you saying that it was a house party.
Yeah.
So let's go here, and this the question I ask everybody. Where do you think the term house music came from?
Okay, well, if a damn show didn't come from what I just said, because when we was doing house parties, somebody throwing a party in they downstairs in their basement or something like that. For the cats that was doing that, none of us said, "I'm finna go play some house music."
Okay.
No, and because we never saw it as we finna go to this house and do a party. We was just doing a gig over somebody's crib.
So our first episode, Wayne Williams said that the term house music came from people playing music in their home. Do you agree with that?
Then why ain't it called home music? See, that's where that don't make no sense. Love.
Right. Okay,
love Wayne and everything,
no,
but that don't make no sense.
I try to make sense of everything,
Then
man.
it would be home music, crib music, apartment music. It'd be something like that. It's being here and being from Chicago and everything. It's kind of like a elementary answer. It's like it's a breakdown from warehouse. Just house music.
Right.
To me, it's a take on that, and somehow we kind of made the word house into new disco.
Right.
That's what house music. That's kind of like where that word, where it kind of like comes from, is like new house music. It's the new stuff that we was doing with the drum machines and everything, and It was as Frankie said, the house music is the bastard child of disco.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's where that term comes from for me.
Okay, that's why I need to know, brother. I like to hear everybody's perspective, man.
That's where it comes from for me.
So, how did you get started at KKC, and what was the atmosphere like during those times?
Okay, with KKC, KKC was going on kind of like the same time XFM was with the punk out stuff, and that was doing that with Wayne, who forgot Wayne, and
that's
Jesse,
Wayne Williams,
Wayne
right?
Williams,
Jesse
Jesse
Saunders, right?
Dave Harrison, doing that stuff with Herb. The KKC thing happened actually because of my sister Stephanie. Stephanie went to school with Walter Get Down Brown.
Yes.
So, and your family members always kind of, it's never like a big deal.
Right.
Whatever you do,
Right.
you're Maurice Joshua and you have a Grammy, but to your family, you're Mo.
Right.
Or yeah, okay.
Right.
So it's like that. So my sister was, yeah, my brother do that. That's, my brother do what you doing. So, when she told him who I was, Walter was like, that's the person that's doing the stuff on XFM. Because Walter used to take the speaker and sit it in his window of the stuff that I was doing, back then, the edits and stuff that I was doing for Herb.
Right.
Back then. So, he told my sister, hey, tell him to come up to the school and everything, like that. Mm-hmm. So I came up there. The original KKC, and let me just say this because these cats really don't get it the way they should.
Right.
The original KKC Friday Night Audio was James Kelly and Dangerous D.
Yes.
That's it. That's who it was. Then everything came after that.
Yes, sir.
Walter Get Down Brown and all the rest and all the rest of us cats, we came after that. So Walter asked me to come up there and he put me on. Now, he put me on, and I was doing something, because we was all turntablists back then.
Right.
So it was some record that I kept going. And, he would hit that drop, do it again, man, do it again, do it again. So James Kelly was downstairs in the studio listening, and he was like, who is this cat you done put on the air?
Right.
So James kind of like just turned everything off.
Really?
Yeah, just turned everything off.
He was a bizarre guy, James Kelly.
Yeah, you just can't just turn it off.
Yeah.
But the next week, I was good. It's just that Walter didn't clear it with him to put me on.
Exactly.
So that's how the whole KKC thing started. Because James Kelly, he couldn't deny that I wasn't doing what I was doing.
Right.
So, and that's how. And I always tell people, Walter almost risked the show to put me on, and I will forever be, grateful.
Nice.
For him for that. So that's how the whole KKC started.
Cool.
And I walked up in KKC playing disco. So
it's mostly disco at that time.
No,
Okay.
that's what I walked up in there.
Oh,
playing.
you walked up in
playing.
playing.
I walked up in there playing disco. This is the the times we was playing the CODs in the bottle
Right.
and all that type of stuff. But I walked in playing, disco. I walked in playing the stuff of the parties that I went to, because by that time, from Warehouse 206 to the power plant, that's
Right.
where I was.
Okay.
So-
and I'm glad you went there, because that was my next question was, did you ever attend the Warehouse or power plant? And if so, tell us about it.
Warehouse maybe once or twice.
Okay.
It was because I'm not homophobic or none of the rest of that, so that
Right.
that didn't bother me at all. But the system, I'm real just sound. My thing is sound, and
Yeah.
the system was just so crazy.
So how'd you find out about it?
Some guys from school, they used to go,
Okay.
and let me see, Steve. I know it's a guy named Steve, and a couple other cats. They used to go, so they was like, man, come, hang out with us, whatever. They was on the basketball team, so it's like, man, we going to this party. You want to go? Okay, cool. And that was Warehouse 206.
Right.
Again, I was already playing though.
Right.
So musically, I was like, okay, this is cool, but system wise, and the crowd control
Right.
that I saw was bananas. Then from the power plant, now the power plant was like going home for me. I was there religiously.
Really?
Every Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every Friday I was there.
Okay.
So and crazy, because we would have parties, like me, Mike, and Tyree.
That's Mike Dunn and Tyree Cooper.
Tyree Cooper, yeah.
Right.
We would have parties, and after every week, every Friday after the parties, because our party, back then parties be over 1:00, something like that. We would go, and this is why I'm so glad you're doing this, Mo, because there's so many people that people don't get this for me. So
Right.
I got Reggie.
Reggie,
All us
you
used to
know the
stay-
last name?
I can't remember his last
Okay.
name, but Reggie stayed on 71st, and all us used to crash in Reggie's basement. So, me, Mike, all us, we used to crash in Reggie's basement after the parties and everything. So I would go to the base, go there after our parties. Mike would be where he would be. I would be where I would be. I would go over Reggie's crib, change clothes, walk down Ashland, the 63rd, get on the train,
Right.
and I'm going to the power plant.
Wow.
It's 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
This was every Friday.
Okay.
So I'm going to the power plant. And that's
Now, from when you go into the power plant, I know you talked about the sound system. Now, anything musically, like you was like, wow.
the system.
I'm not saying beside the system, but any records
Well-
that you was like, oh my goodness, what is this? Or
Oh, that was every week.
really?
Yeah, that was every week. Frankie
Okay.
was playing something every week.
Right.
That was like crazy. But I have to mention the system, because this brings in Craig Loftus.
Right.
Craig was the cat that was managing that system
Right.
in the power plant, and he was so meticulous with it. He would walk around with a clipboard, writing down numbers,
Wow.
and getting on ladders and making sure that this was angled the right way, and then he would come down, and then he would turn on the system, and this is how
Right.
he was in doing this stuff.
Right.
So this, so it was the system. But every week, Frankie would play something, and I would be in the booth with him. I would be in the booth with Frankie.
Okay.
And sometimes I would be in the booth like this. Because I had already played.
Right, you were just
I
tired,
played,
right.
I said, I'm tired.
Right.
And I would be like, then Frankie would come over and you'd be like, Hugo.
Right.
He said, okay. He said, now if you're going to do that, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, because you're making me look bad, like I'm boring you. This is what Frankie used to say.
Right.
So, but Frankie would play a song, and I would ask him, the name of the song. And he would turn around and he would walk back to where the record was.
Right.
And he would hand me the cover.
Oh, really? And you just memorize it?
I said, why didn't you just tell me the song? He said, if I tell you the name of this song, you're not going to remember it
Right.
by the time this night is over with. He said, but you're going to remember what this cover looks like.
That's true.
So
you do that, yeah.
And that was every week.
Okay, so what year did you first hear Jamie Principle, Your Love, and when did you start playing it?
Ooh, wow, I don't even remember the year, because I heard it so much, and I had it on cassette, because Frankie made cassettes.
Okay.
Every week.
Like mixed cassettes or just
mixed cassettes?
Okay.
Of the party that
right.
like, you know, he would record exactly what he was doing.
Okay.
Wow, I don't remember that year. So it had to be, man, either the late 80s or early 90s, whenever it was way before it was released, though.
Yeah.
It was way before it was released.
Right. So it had to be early 80s.
Yeah, so I know Funk had brought up a point of, I guess I maybe Feels Good by Tara Butler, that break, and Jamie Principle, Your Love.
Right.
It always was
Similar.
a thing of, who did what? You know, what, which one was first? You know, I don't know.
Okay. So, Hugo, you know, you was really one of the popular DJs when this house music came out. In your opinion, what was the first house record that was released?
Okay. Again, this is one of them questions where it's like, branded by that name, house.
Okay.
Then it would be Jesse.
As the first release?
As the first house record release.
Okay.
Now, quick story with that. When Jesse and Vince did it, I was on KKC.
Okay.
They bought the record up to me. I was the first one to play it.
Okay.
First one. Records were still warm.
Right.
Because, you know, the plant was down there on 38.
Absolutely.
So the records were still warm. Jesse gave me the record. I was mixing at that time. They came in the studio. I was on the air mixing at that time.
Right.
So Jesse, you know, gave me the record, put it on. Now, I was playing the original On and On.
Okay, which is that mock record.
Right.
Yeah.
I was playing that one. So, courtesy of Mike, because Mike got it. So, you know, I was
So Wayne wasn't the only one that had it.
No. And it wasn't Jesse had one, Lil John had one, Mike, and a couple other cats.
Okay.
Then later, everybody else, you know, got theirs and everything. So I played, I'm going through the record. I never played the On and On because I was playing the original On and On.
Right.
So I'm running through the tracks from Ticket and Crack. No, I played the original 119. I ain't playing that.
Right.
Hit 5-8, boom. This shit's crazy.
Yeah.
So I went around the rest of the tracks, and I'm on the air.
Right.
Went through the rest of the tracks, came back to 5-8, blended it in, and mixed it right there on the air. Bam. Right there on the air.
Right.
And it's the stuff that when I be saying it, then when I told Jesse this, he was like, damn, you right. I forgot all. Yeah, I know, Jesse. You forgot about that, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of people that was involved in this.
Yeah.
That really, you can't remember everything.
No,
you know what I'm saying. So that's why we got to put this into the timeline so people knows what's going on, man. So there's a long debate regarding the order of the 1985-84 releases, right? So put these songs in order of release as you remember. Music is the Key, All Shucks, Jack Tracks EP, and On and On.
Okay. See, the problem with me becomes we were running this stuff so far in advance,
right?
Before it got pressed.
Okay.
So,
but just clarify just a little bit of the debate that's been going on.
I think because the music is the key that I play is not the music is the key that was pressed.
Correct.
It's an unpressed version that Steve did. So it would have to be.
Wait, pause right there. So your unreleased version. Now, was there an issue with a lot of DJs that when the record finally was pressed out, the original version that people was playing wasn't on there?
Oh no, it wasn't on there.
Right. No, but was people mad at that during that time?
Some were. Yeah. I mean, because those were the versions that they were used to hearing.
Yeah.
And then they go by the record, and it's like this, you know, it's
the
like
pretty version.
Yeah, you know, it's like Eddie Murphy and the McDonald's. You know, this ain't that McDonald's.
Right,
you
right.
know, so it's like, you know,
Right.
your mom done made a burger at the crib and wrapped it in
Right.
McDonald's paper.
So we talking about releases that was actual press. So Music is Key,
Chip,
All Shucks,
Chip,
Jack Tracks,
Chip,
and on and
Jack
on.
Jack Tracks came out. Jack Tracks.
Okay. So we say that's one. That's
so
first one.
That would be, well, now, crazy thing with that, I was at the plant. I was there the night Chip bought Frankie the real. The real, before it was even pressed,
Right.
of the Jack Tracks EP.
Okay.
So, and Frankie played it.
Okay.
And everybody, they lost their mind. Now, they didn't lose their mind on House. It's House. No.
Really?
They lost their mind because it was saying Jack.
Okay.
That was the word, because jacking was a form of dance in that community.
Right.
So it wasn't house. They wasn't saying, they weren't saying house. Did he just say Jack?
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
that's
right,
what
right.
it was. You know, so when it was, you know, when it started saying that, I mean, the crowd just,
Wow.
you know, yeah, the crowd lost it. I don't even know if Chip was there. He should remember that night.
Right.
Yeah. But All Shucks was early. That was like super early too.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Hugo, you're not helping this debate that's going on, man. You know that, right?
But I'm thinking, because you threw All Shucks in there.
Right.
You threw All Shucks in there. Now, music is the key.
Music is Key, All Shucks. Let's go. Jack Tracks EP, and then on and on.
Oh boy. And see, the crazy point is we were playing all of them at the same time.
Right, but I'm now we're not going by tape version or unreleased version. We actually released.
So the actual released record, according for me,
yes, to you.
that I had.
Yes.
Chip gave me a test pressing of Time to Jack.
Okay.
So I had that before I had the Music is the Key.
Okay.
To my knowledge, because I got a test press.
So we got Jack Tracks, Music is the Key. What's the next one? All Shucks, or either on and on?
It would have to been the On and On.
Okay.
And then maybe the All Shucks.
Okay. There we have it.
Somewhere.
Now, you know you're going to get a lot of comments about this, too.
Oh,
so.
yeah, I know I'm going to get a ton of them. I mean, but I can't really remember the dates again because, like I said, we were playing them all at the same time.
Right.
And then, like, in the other interviews that I heard you give, you know, they brought up Fantasy.
Yep.
And all the rest of that. Fantasy, which to me was the, like, Ripper, Your Love is a Drug by Rodney Griffin.
Right.
Baseline.
Because, you know, Farley Jack Master Funk said he says that could be possibly the first house record.
But we wasn't saying that then.
Right.
So I can't.
Yeah.
I can't really say that because we wasn't really using that term then. So.
Absolutely. Okay. So you were a resident of the New Warehouse on Randolph in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. What music do you remember from that era, and how did you get into that warehouse?
Now when we were playing house, but we were also playing club. Because a lot of records back then, they didn't have house mixes. They had club mixes.
Okay.
So we were playing a lot of club mixes.
Okay. So which club mix that was very that you remember from that era of the 90s? That was big at the warehouse in Randolph.
One of the biggest it was a lot of them. It was a few of them, but one of the biggest was Cole and Convilla's Pride.
Yeah.
That was a beast.
They rocked that one. Right
that was the 12-inch continuous.
Yes, sir.
that
still rocks to this day.
Yeah, to this day.
Yeah.
So
it was you DJing there, K Alexi,
K,
Mike Dunn,
Mike, Joe
Smooth.
Well, it's easy if you just go by the days. Sunday was K.
Okay, K Alexi.
You know,
right.
And K, and I saw K's interview too.
Right.
And I mean, and it was like crazy because K was doing it.
Right.
You know, and like he said, he's right. He's like, dude, I don't need no goddamn help. What you keep asking people coming here to play with me for? K had it. He had it on lock. You know,
right.
He did, and he didn't. You know, so no, you know, so even if at that point when they was even if they told me, you know, come through K, do your thing, dude. I'm just here because they asked me to come. I ain't right. You know, do what you do. So K, Mike, well, the original from the originals,
right?
Mike, Joe Smooth, Julian, Bill, Bad Boy Bill,
okay.
Who else was there? Because a lot of people came to the warehouse after I left.
Right.
So it's a thing of a lot of cats that you know started playing there because a lot of people played there. They just wasn't there.
Right. So week. you left. What year did you leave?
Ooh, I don't remember what year I left. I left, I think, right before they did the Ferrari Club thing and put the car in the wall.
Put the car in the wall. Yeah. Okay.
A little bit right.
So you said
that.
Pride. Okay. So Cole and Cavillas.
Yeah, that was.
Give me 2 more records. At that time, that was huge for you at the warehouse.
Oh boy.
Oh, better yet, what records did you break there at the warehouse?
Now here's the crazy.
Okay.
Percolator.
Yep.
Cash.
Yep.
Bought the record up to me.
Yep. Clubhouse Records.
He bought it up to me right after it was done.
Right.
Gave it to me because you had Percolator and you had Coffee Pot.
Yeah.
So I played Percolator. And now here's the crazy thing. I still have the cassette because we used to record.
Yeah.
So I get on the mic. Brand new music from Cashmere.
Right.
It's called Percolator.
They didn't know what it was at first.
They didn't know what it was. Nah. This was the crazy part because everybody, you know, that's at the warehouse. It was a stage. On the stage, the girls were saying, "Not now, I'll suck you later. Not now, I'll suck you later." Now, this is what they were saying.
Right.
That's what they were saying off the song.
Wow.
So, and I mean that was just an instant smash.
Yeah.
That was just
that was absolutely
that was instant. I mean, people want to get into, you know, like records that they broke, so to speak. So, the Jesse Sanders On, Percolator, Move Your Body. We broke because, well, Marshall at that point gave all of his music to me, Mike, and Tyree first.
So Hugo H, Tyree Cooper, and Mike Dunn.
Right.
So it wasn't Frankie Knuckles where he took that and played it and gave it to him?
After he gave it to us.
Wow.
So he would give it to us first. So we were playing Move Your Body, wasn't even no words yet. It was
so he gave it to you guys before he gave it to the Hot Mix 5, Farley.
Yeah.
And everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you played it, it didn't have Curtis McLean on it yet?
No.
So what was on there?
Nothing. Music.
That's it.
It was just the music. Move Your Body, Jungle Ones, all of the stuff that Marshall did, 90% of it before it had lyrics, we had it.
Right.
And so it was certain copies of it. Again, once you went into the studio and you redid it, even Acid Track.
Right.
The original version of Acid Track is different than the version that was pressed.
Right.
So, which I still have that too.
Wow. So do you have the version of Move Your Body that he first gave you?
That I have no idea where that is.
Okay.
But now, real quick, let me tell this story. Me and Mike Dunn, we had a track that we were doing called Slave for Love. Okay. We were using Armando Gallup, rest in peace, Armando's 707 machine.
Right.
So me and Mike wrote the words to it, had the TV 303 and then all that stuff, but we hadn't recorded it. So Armando wanted his machine back. Now I'm trying to hold the machine. I'm telling Armando Mike got it. Mike telling Armando Hugo got it. So because I'm trying to keep the machine so we can record it. So he's like, damn, we got to give Armando the machine back. Now all of the programs that me and Mike put in there were in the machine. Wow. The track to Confusion.
Wow.
That was the track to Confusion is Slave for Love.
Get out of here.
That's that track.
Wow.
That's the track to Confusion. Is actually Slave for Love, a track that me and Mike was doing.
Wow. See, look at that. Y'all getting history here, y'all.
Yeah,
got some history.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. I Fear the Night, Tyree. That's enough. It's even, and I don't know why when you talked to Mike didn't tell you all these stories because most of them are. So
go ahead talk. But I'm trying to get my brother Tyree on the show too. So yeah, I have him talk about that.
He needs to. He definitely got to get Tyree.
Okay.
When Tyree was doing I Feel the Night, we were all in the. Now when the Sheba Disco closed, and then it turned to Mr. G's. So we knew the owners of Mr. G's, so we could stay in there.
Right.
So we used to actually just, stay there, like really, right. No, like really stay there, like sleep there and everything. So
wow,
that's where we used to be. Marshall bought all his equipment down there,
right,
and was doing the, recording, doing all this stuff down there. So this is where Tyree was giving birth to I Fear the Night.
Yeah.
But he was programming it in the machine, but it was just programming it. It was crazy. Mike got frustrated and was like, I'm out. Just forget it. So I took the machine home,
right.
The 808, took it home. Marshall's machine, took it home, and I straightened out, the tracks and put the break in,
right,
for I Fear the Night.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was a lot of monster stuff we played. The Michael Jackson Remember the Time.
Yeah.
3-4 nights.
Wow.
3-4 times a night. Now, everybody was running E's.
Right, E Smooth.
But I was running yours. Because I was
underground, right.
I was the dove head. I was running all the doves of yours. So which everybody's still looking for it, but though, since it was only available on that double DJ package, sir. You didn't have it.
Absolutely.
You didn't have it.
Yep.
So
wow.
That was it.
So Hugo, you play and make new music, but you're also known for your skill with playing classics. Talk about the ongoing debate in Chicago, old school versus new school or new music.
Well, I mean, for me, it's good music. Yeah. I don't care what it is, who's playing what. Just play good music.
Right.
And don't play for your DJ friends.
There you go.
I said my thing has always been in every interview I've ever done and everything, the number one job of a DJ is a callback.
Right.
That's your number one job, is to please the people and hopefully have you come back again.
Right.
So I don't care what it is. Just, play good music, classic. My thing has always been mix all that shit up.
Yeah.
Just mix it up.
Yeah.
It's always a thing with a DJ of what they want to hear, what I'm finna turn you on to.
Right.
That's called breaking a song.
Yes, sir.
So whatever songs I decide that I'm gonna break, I'm gonna put them in between what you want to hear.
Yes, sir.
So that by the end of the night, you gonna ask me, hey, you ran this song around 2-3 times. What was that?
Right. Yeah,
you gonna ask me what that song was, because I'm a rock it with what your best cut is.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna keep you moving, and then you gonna come back and ask me, man, you played this song around 3 times. What was that? Right. Yeah. And that's it.
So, what do you see as a future for house music?
It's gonna keep growing. Right. I mean, a lot of people could think it's stale and all the rest of that. And if you're like this,
right,
then that's what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
But if you move around and you travel, you see the love.
Absolutely.
The respect.
Yes, sir.
Of the culture of something that, and I kind of get a little pissed at Chicago because this is something we started.
Yeah.
And we shit on it more than anybody.
Absolutely.
And that looks bad for us. When you move around and you go other places, just the welcome that you get and the people and,
yeah,
house ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Right.
Everybody's going to keep doing what they doing. Younger generations are going to, grab it. They going to grab it and they going to do what they going to do with it.
Right.
But it's still going to be house.
Absolutely.
And, we got to kind of let that go.
Yeah.
Because we want everybody to do it the way we did it. We're not doing it the way we used to do it now.
Absolutely.
No, nowhere close. We're not
Right.
even doing it that way now. Because
You got to progress sometimes.
you got to progress. And
Yes.
technology is moving, so you're gonna go with it or you're gonna get left. So
There you go. So, how were you able to incorporate house music for a national radio audience on Foxhole?
okay, that's a crazy story. When I was asked to do it, the format was hip hop and R&B.
Right.
That's what it was.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, Jamie, I'm from Chicago, I got to play house music. Jamie was like, play what the fuck you want to play, man. Okay. And that was it. But see, a lot of people don't know.
Did he know about house music?
A lot of people don't know. Jamie used to hang out here.
Yeah.
He used to hang out at Dejois.
Yeah. And he used to come to the Spy Bar, too.
And he used to come
Yes,
he
sir.
used to come to Spy Bar. So Jamie was well aware,
Yeah.
what that was. So basically, overnight, I flipped my whole format on Foxhole with Jamie, and I was just doing house, and then I was the head and the lead mix show person.
Right.
So it became crazy because from me doing radio mixes all this time and everything. So when we would have meetings, phone meetings and all the rest of this stuff, they would say something and everything would be, yeah, but not you, Hugo. So now all of the rest of the DJs kind of looking at me like, man, fuck this.
Oh, yeah. Hating
they
on
looking
you,
at
right.
me, because every time they would say something, it would be for them, but then they would say, oh, yeah, but not you. You just, you were up because I had the highest numbers.
Right.
And everything else. So it would be a thing of, yeah, but not you. So,
Yeah. I hear that. That's good, man. That's good that you have the outreach for that, man, and people don't really know that still helps a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's it's like I always say, it's bigger than your city.
Absolutely.
It's bigger than your city. So
That's right.
being on Sirius XM, I would get emails and everything from all over the world.
Yeah.
For people, honestly, just wanting to buy the mixes.
Well, that's good.
And all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, you
So,
better play that new single I got too, man. Come on, stop playing.
really, Mo? Really?
So going to that.
When did you ever have to ask me
I know that. I'm
to
just
play
playing.
some of yours?
I'm just
man.
playing with
Come
you,
on,
man. Tell us about any recent or upcoming releases you got coming out.
What I have this is where everybody, especially my brother Mike.
Yep.
Because H, come on, man.
Yep.
Sitting on all that shit, man. Come on, man. So, because I got just tons and tons and tons of tracks and all the rest of this stuff.
You see everybody's doing it already, man. Only thing you got to
right.
do is put something underneath there, man.
So, so it's a lot of stuff coming out. It's a label based in Amsterdam called GDE.
Right.
I'm gonna have some stuff coming out. Well, actually, one of the songs coming out on that label, Da Dee Da, you mastered.
Right.
So that's coming out. It's a lot of stuff in the works right now that's coming out.
Well, you can reach everything on Hugo on all his social media platforms, everything. I got a question that nobody probably asked you before. Your logo on your hat, always, the H is not in the middle. It's always on the side. I want to know why you do that.
Okay. I had a hat made.
Okay.
And they messed up.
Okay.
And put the H on the side.
Okay.
I wore the hat again.
Right.
MD.
Yeah.
Mike saw the hat. That's your logo.
Yep.
And that's been it for however many years.
Ah, okay. I thought it was game related.
Yeah, house.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
because they,
I get you. So you are one half of a well-known DJ couple. How did you meet your wife?
How did I meet my wife?
And if nobody know, it's First Lady.
How did I meet First Lady? Tyree Cooper.
Tyree Cooper.
Big brother Tyree Cooper. We used to hang out at this spot on Halsted.
What's the name of the
spot? General Persuasion. I just thought of it. I had to look over that way and then I thought of it.
Right.
No, we was at General Persuasion. Tyree and her had did an in-store.
Okay.
So when they finished the in-store, Tyree asked her, hey, come hang out with me. I'm got to go to this club and play. So she said, okay, cool. So they came over there. See, I'm not telling all because she's gonna tell. She's gonna. Tell
no, I just wanted a tidbit, man. That's just
but
so people know.
We were introduced.
Your beautiful wife and who she is, man.
By Tyree.
Okay.
And it sounds like it could be like real cornball, but it's like in the rest is history.
Yeah. So how long y'all been together now?
28.
Ooh, congratulations, man.
28. Yeah.
We got to do a what is that? A Chicago Househead's wife reality show, huh? That'd be nice.
Now the crazy thing, people here and people overseas want us to do a show. Yeah, they want
man,
us
go
to
ahead and do that, man.
They want to do it. They either want us to do like a music, music show, a relationship show,
right? Because
everybody's like, "How do y'all do it? How do y'all?"
Oh man, that's good.
Or a music and cooking show.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm down with that, man. So I'm trying to get that going off after I do this podcast. Also, Chicago is known for its myths and beefs. What Chicago-based house beef or myth do you want to squash or correct, past or present?
Let me see. The only real myth is that Chicago didn't start this house, the house you dig. That's the only myth, and we did. That's it. That's that. Squash it. Jersey was doing club music. Right. They weren't doing house music. The problem because we started mixing all this stuff together when it came out. Right. So people, you ask somebody now, play some house, and I'm a real stickler on genre. I don't like music in its wrong place. Right. Because whether it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or not, if you pull up Marvin Gaye, what's going on, it shouldn't be rock and roll. Right. It's soul. So, but if you do that, that's what you're gonna see. Right. Because that's, and they have no problem with doing that. Yeah. So, I like keeping the music in its proper perspective. So, right.
Okay, well, that's good. We know, man. So, listen, thank you for coming on the show, Hugo. I really appreciate you this, man. I've been waiting for a long time to hear your perspective on this culture because you've been at it for a while, man. You've been in the trenches of this, and still know the secrets. I know you ain't telling everything, man. He's trying to be PC, y'all, but we gonna let it go like that. But remember to hit the button, hit the subscribe button, click the notification, and make sure you tune in to Everything House Music and more, y'all. Hugo H, I love you, brother. Thank you so much, man. All right, peace out.